Hello everyone, welcome to my new video. This is Sumit Bhatia. I am a Sitecore certified developer and three-time Sitecore technology MVP. So here are my community profiles. You can follow all the links. In today's session, we will discuss about how to interact with the Angular app using a Sitecore Headless, where we will see uh, how to save form using an API that includes a file upload also, and finally we'll discuss the conclusion.
So recently someone asked me about using Sitecore forms with Headless as they are using Angular. So they did not find documentation to work with Sitecore forms. I then searched and found a way to use an API that can help front end to save values in Sitecore form and use the Sitecore out of the box functionality to store values in Sitecore form database. So I am providing some steps here how I created the POC for this one. So what you need to do is you need to use an out of the box form extension to create a form like this one. So I created a form that has few field, first name, last name, email, and a file upload and a button here. And once you will add these forms on a page, so here is a layout service response you can see here. So you will get all the fields that you have on the form will be listed here. Using these response, the front end team will be able to render the form on their app. Now I will show you what is the code when they will submit the request, and the parameter what we need to pass while submitting the request using a postman, and the code I will show you how what is the code that is saving the values into Sitecore form database. This is my postman request that the front end team need to implement, and this is my API endpoints, and I'm using a post request. I'm passing into the data into JSON format. What I need to do is first I need to add pass the form ID, that is the ID of the form that we created in the Sitecore using the Sitecore form extension. The fields that we are passing, so in our case we are passing a first name field. You can see the first name field. This is the field ID that when you create a field into Sitecore form, so you will get a unique ID, item ID of the field. So this is my first name field ID, my value, and this is the type. Like the type is called a string. It's a value. It's a integer. It's a byte, or whatever the value we need to pass. So I will show you in my code what kind of fields we can save into Sitecore form database. So this is for the last name, this is for the email, this is the type is different for the email, and this is for the field. So this is the field of ID of the form upload. So uh, I'm just converting my image into base 64, and here I'm passing the value something like this one, and this is the form field name called files, and form the file name is whatever you will pass the file name, and the type is the file type. So once you will submit this request, it will go into the form database and it will submit the data. So I will show you quickly how the code looks like. So in the code side, what I did is I created a controller that is inheriting from the API controller, and I have decorated it with an enable codes, and that will allow all the origins, and it will not give you the runtime error when you will call this API from the front end. So here we are passing the form body. So what is in the form body? It is a form. It contains an ID of the form and the fields, list of fields. So list of fields contain the file name, type, value, and other fields that I've already showed you from the postman value that we need to pass. When it gets a value, it is calling the form service that contains a method called save form data. If we go to the form save form data, so what it does, it is getting all the fields here and looping through the fields. What it does is first check for the file. So if it contains a file, it store the file into this using this file storage provider dot store files, and then it gets all the IDs from the database uh, that I will show you quickly. And then at the last, what it does, it saves all the values here into the table, and create an entry into this table for the forms. So here are the list of fields that I mentioned while giving you the overview of the postman request. So for the single line text, you need to get this ID. It is fixed. I have actually submitted out of the box request into the Sitecore database with all the fields that are required. So it contains a single line text, multi line text, phone and email. It contains an ID, so you can pass this ID, and the return time will be system.string that will be saved into the database. For the date, we'll save system.datetime. For the collection, file upload will save this value and number, checkbox and checkbox list and something. And by default, if you not pass that, it will save the value system.string. So this way, it will create an entry into Sitecore form database, and let me show you how the value looks like. So these are the three tables that are under the Sitecore Experience Form database. The last table, that is a form entry, is a entry when you try to post the data. It creates a new entry, and the field data. The second last table is the details of all the fields that you are trying to post, like the fields of the form, the first name, last name, and their value type and the values. And the first table, that is file storage. In case if you are trying to pass a file using a file upload, then it will come into this and it will create a reference into the form definition table for this entry. So this is how the values are being saved using the using the API that we created, the custom API. And if you open the form into Sitecore form extension and try to export the data, so it will do the same behavior, like you can export the data into the Excel format and you will be able to see that data. So that's all about the implementation I want to show you, and I hope you will like the video. Thank you so much.